They laughed when I was weak. Not just a laugh, it was a performance. They pointed, they whispered, loud enough for me to hear, quiet enough to pretend it was harmless. My shirt clung to bones, not muscle. My frame something to joke about, not respect. They saw skin, not strength. They saw failure, not fire. They joked like it was funny. But they didn't see the nights I clenched my fists until my nails drew blood. They didn't hear the silence I sat in, eyes open, fists shaking, heart screaming. They didn't know what they were creating. They thought it was just a joke. They didn't know they were waking something dark, something dangerous. No one's laughing now. Not them, not me, only the weights as they drop like thunder. This is phantom focus, and this is where the weak become monsters. I didn't grow up strong. I wasn't built different. I was small, quiet, easy to overlook. The kind of kid people saw as background noise, never a threat. My arms looked like twigs, my chest hollow, my presence forgettable. I didn't walk into rooms. I slipped through them, hoping no one noticed. But they did, and they made sure I never forgot it. Every joke cut deeper than it seemed. Eat something, bro. You look like a skeleton. You work out. Yeah, right. They said it with a smile, like it was just friendly teasing. But behind those grins was something colder, something meant to keep me in my place. Even the people closest to me joined in. Friends, family, people who were supposed to believe in me were the first ones to laugh. They didn't mock the body I had. They mocked the idea I could ever change it. So I stopped speaking. I stopped showing up. I disappeared into the silence, because at least in silence, no one was laughing. That's where the darkness began, not with some dramatic explosion, but with quiet shame. And in that silence, something started to grow, not muscle, not yet, but a mindset. A voice that whispered, they don't see it now, but one day, they will. Something changed the day I stopped caring. Not all at once, but piece by piece. The version of me that craved their approval started to rot and die. I stopped trying to prove anything to them. I stopped hoping they'd see my potential. I let go of the fantasy that they'd ever respect me, and in that moment, something raw and real took over. The pain didn't vanish. It evolved. It sharpened. It became fuel. I didn't walk into the gym to feel good. I walked in like I was stepping onto a battlefield. I wasn't chasing aesthetics. I wasn't smiling in the mirror. I was bleeding under the bar, grinding through reps like every ounce of sweat was revenge. Every curl, every press, every set was war, and the enemy was weakness. I embraced solitude. No friends, no validation, no one cheering me on, just me and the iron. The silence became sacred. No distractions, no excuses. Just pain, focus, and the voice in my head saying, "You're not done yet." Not until they remember the name they used to laugh at. I didn't want to be accepted anymore. I wanted to be feared. And that's when I became dangerous. While they were out chasing comfort, I was chasing pain, not because I enjoyed it, but because I needed it. The grind wasn't glamorous. There were no cameras, no applause. Just a cold gym floor, chalk-covered hands, and weights heavy enough to break bones. I showed up when no one was watching. Day after day, night after night. Rain, heat, sickness, it didn't matter. Because for me, this wasn't a hobby. This was survival. I trained until my vision blurred, until my muscles screamed louder than the voices in my head. I failed more times than I can count. I tore, I bled, I collapsed. But I never quit. Because every drop of sweat felt like payback. Every rep was another scar in the making. They were out laughing, partying, wasting time, and I was counting macros, pounding protein, forcing my body to obey. I didn't eat for pleasure, ate like a soldier fuels for war. I didn't sleep to rest, slept to grow. The gym stopped being a room. It became my sanctuary, my battleground. the place where I unleashed everything they tried to kill in me. I wasn't just building a body, I was forging a weapon made of rage, focus, and pure obsession. I didn't train for fun, I trained like a villain. Because villains don't wait to be accepted, they create fear through action. While they slept, I built. While they celebrated, I suffered. And while they forgot my name, I was making sure they'd never ignore it again. Now when I walk into a room, the energy shifts. Not because I'm loud, not because I ask for attention, but because they feel it, the weight I carry, the discipline. I've bled for people who used to laugh, don't say much anymore. Some can't even make eye contact. They look, they glance, then they turn away. Because it's not laughter anymore. It's tension. It's intimidation. And I don't need to say a word, they already know. The ones who used to mock me, they shrink in my presence. They remember the things they said, the jokes they cracked, the smirks they wore. And now, face to face with what I've become, all that noise has vanished. The laughs are gone, replaced by silence. And silence, that's not awkwardness. That's respect. That's the sound of someone realizing they were wrong. I became what they said I'd never be. I turned doubt into discipline. I took every insult, every moment of humiliation, and buried it deep into my bones, until it hardened into something unbreakable. They don't call me skinny anymore. They don't throw around nicknames or jokes. Now, it's sir, or nothing at all. The same ones who used to tower over me. Now they step aside. And the best part? I didn't do it for them. I didn't build this body or this mind to win their approval. I did it to prove to myself that I was never what they said I was. The confidence I carry now, it's not cocky, it's earned. It's carved from years of pain, silence, and solitude. I don't demand respect. I walk in and take it. The world doesn't create strength out of kindness. It creates monsters out of mockery. You want to know why I became this? Why I train like it's life or death? Because the world laughed when I was down. It kicked me when I was weak. It taught me early that no one truly cares about how you feel, only what you become. They don't respect emotions. They don't value struggle. They worship the outcome, not the journey. So I made sure my outcome would shut them all up. People say pain breaks you, but that's not true. Pain exposes you. It shows you who you really are, beneath the excuses, the lies, the soft comfort of doing nothing. Pain gave me clarity. It stripped me of weakness and handed me something sharper than motivation. While most people chase temporary highs, I chased something deeper. I forged my body, not for show, but for survival. Every muscle, every scar, every drop of sweat, it's armor now. And in this world, you better have armor, because life doesn't pull punches. They want you soft, smiling, harmless, easy to control. But if you're watching this, you already know you weren't born to be liked. You were born to be remembered. This world tried to crush you with its laughter, with its doubt, with its silence. So what? Let them laugh, let them doubt. Just make sure when you return, they don't even recognize you. Not because you changed who you are, but because you became who you were always meant to be. This isn't about revenge, it's about evolution. You either rise, or you rot. They laughed at me once, loud, careless, like I was nothing. But I took every laugh, every insult, and turned it into fuel. I didn't beg for their respect. I made it impossible to deny. I stopped chasing validation and became the storm they never saw coming. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be accepted. I'm here to haunt the silence they left me in. This is phantom focus. We don't train for fun. We train for power. We train for vengeance. If you felt that, darkness-good, now use it. Pick up the weight, become the weapon, and let the world regret ever doubting you.